Everyone's week is off to a good start. Let's jump right in and take a look at our calendar for the week.
All right, let me pull up our website. So we've passed by most of the, no, it's only Tuesday. Feels like most of the week. But we have going into, actually I can hear my music still. Let me turn that off real quick. There we go. Actually, right after this meeting, we do have Chantel's productivity coaching class. She's gonna be doing a transaction overview, writing a sale, kind of, leading behind the writing a listing from last week. Then we have Facebook campaigns with Tanya. She'll be doing those in command. And especially if you're part of the March Adness, this will be a good one to go to leading into the upcoming weeks with those challenges and those rounds. If we look later into the week, or I guess later into Wednesday, we have a CE credit being hosted by, I believe it is Old Republic Title, about old homes. And then we do have our IT and Brokers Corner, those open office times for our IT help, and Kelly's, open, I think it's on Zoom. We're doing on Zoom, right, Kelly? Is he nodding somewhere? Probably. So yeah, it's on Zoom. You'll be able to jump in and just open office, ask any questions you have. And then the regional tech classes. So we had a few of those. Was there one this year at all? Is this the first one for 2021? Tanya?
They've actually had a couple, Austin, but what's so special about the one this week is David Voorhees is head of the labs at KWRI, and he's pretty amazing. So to have him actually help teach one of the classes here, if you want to know how to work your database and how to grow your business, you should attend this class, and it's free to us. So why wouldn't you?
Yeah, so just go in here and you can register for the meeting. And then moving in, I think that's the rest of what's going on for this week. But I think a lot of you may already know about the March Adness. So we had it close at 3 p.m. yesterday, but the bracket has been generated. This is a random generated bracket. So no fire on my end if you're like, wait, I'm gonna patch it up with them. No, this is great. I'm actually really excited for these. The random generation, I was like looking at some of these matchups. I'm like, I am so excited. So in the first week, starting pretty much yesterday afternoon, going into next Monday, whatever your current campaign is going, what's gonna happen is by 2 o'clock on Monday next week, we'll need a screenshot, just like you did for your proof of your campaign. We'll need a screenshot of your results. So it shows like your statistics for impressions, clicks, things like that. We want that so that we can get those numbers and know who won that round. You'll notice it's a little bit different than just a traditional 1v1 header on each round because of the amount of people we had. There was a little bit of a, odd number of people. There wasn't a full, was it a 32 member bracket? And also we need to have it condensed into 4 weeks. So there was a lot that we had to play and making sure that it fit. And so you'll see some triple headers in there, which in those triple headers, that means if you're in that randomly generated slot and you happen to get into that week 2, it looks like on both sides, and into the semifinals, it is the best person wins. So only one will survive in that round. Jenny happens to be on the left side. So she is in a bye week. There was one person in the there's an odd number on the left side. She was randomly generated to have a bye week. She'll still be participating in week 1, just because you'll want to, start cultivating leads and stuff from week 1, 2, 3, and 4 if you do happen to get into the finals. So with the intention of getting the finals, you want to participate in all the weeks.
Can we clarify how they made it into each side? Like, I know some people are probably thinking, Jenny, a rookie, no way.
Yeah, so with that, so we because also we had a disproportionate amount of veterans versus rookies, we moved the goalpost of what is considered a rookie. So it's on paper only, I guess you can say. It doesn't mean just for the sake of balance, we switched it from 2 years to 4 years within the industry. So that's why some people changed, like Heather went from veteran over, Heather Garrigues went from veteran to rookie, and then who else was it? Oh, Rochelle, you went from veteran to rookie. So those were the only changes, but just for balance reasons, but it shouldn't make any difference on being able to get to the finals. So.
Thank you, Austin. I have a couple minor things on that. Heather is actually going to go on vacation next week. We're a little scared to let her.
Oh, yes.
No, just kidding. She hasn't been on a vacation in a long time. So she's going to go on a vacation. So we will actually have people send them to you
Yes,
if
actually,
possible.
yeah.
So send your screenshots to Austin. If you send them to Heather, we'll figure it out. But send your screenshots to Austin. And then are all of our agents for the next batch of the $25 campaign, is that all going to get compounded, or how does that work?
So are you talking about like just for
Let me
each?
clarify.
Yeah.
So everyone has to do an ad every single week. And why wouldn't you? We're giving you a $25 credit for each week in March that you run an ad. Everybody that is currently in the bracket, they've done their first ad in order to qualify and to be into this competition. So going forward, you do another ad this week, you do another ad next week, and you do another ad the following week. And then you can turn in whichever ad is getting you the most impressions to win this week's bracket, right? And next week you can turn in whichever ad is getting you the most clicks, and then going forward to the leads. But you still need to turn, so you might be turning in two, right? You want to turn in the one to show, hey, I need a credit. And then by Monday, you need to turn in the one that's going to get you the most impressions. We're looking at all that stuff at 2:00 on Monday to review, to see who wins. And we need that time, you guys, to go through these and to generate and do the stuff that we need to do on our end. So you're going to turn it in probably twice. Once to say, yep, I need a credit. And the next time is going to be, here's my most impressions. And most likely you're going to want to wait until the end so you can get the most impressions, right?
I'm going to send this to Bruce.
Yeah, so that should
Anything
work
that
out.
has to do with the money, Austin, anything that has to do with the money, getting credited on your invoice for your ads, send that email to me. I'll get that when I get back from vacation. But for tracking the impressions, you want to send that to Austin.
Yeah. So when in doubt, just I guess CC or put both of us on there. If you really want to know, just put us both on there. We'll get both of them, and then then you won't have to worry about splitting it if that makes it easier for you guys.
So where do we find the number of impressions and all that kind of stuff?
It's on your campaign. So when you see your ad, can I steal the screen real quick, Austin?
Very good.
Let me go find my command. When you are in campaigns and you're looking at your ad, and this is the screenshot that you need to send. So you need to do a clip of this that says it is active and it's running. And then you're gonna send, this is the impressions right here. You guys see that? Right here, CPM is the cost per click, or not cost per impression. And that's the one that we're rating you guys on this week. So next Monday, whoever has the highest in each group that you're paired in is going to win to make it to the next week. And then we want to make sure that you guys continue to keep rooting for your side, right?
Yeah. So
we don't want you just to stop and be done and be like, oh, I'm out. You got to keep rooting, just like you do on March Madness. You root for your teams.
Yeah. So that's the whole idea with the rookies versus veterans with the two sides, is you want to be rooting for your finalist, your champion by the end. So, and you even though you will be, there will be people who will be eliminated this first round, but if you happen to be eliminated, you can still use that $25 credit. You're still free to do
Absolutely.
that. So don't feel like you lost. You're still able to get that that win there and get the, what is it, max $125 this month in free.
But it's more than that. You guys, you get free marketing, you get leads, you get business. That's the beauty of the whole entire competition. Winning the competition is just icing on the cake.
Yes, everyone's a winner if you get your $25 credit each week for your campaign. So the main thing you have to remember this week is do a second ad for the following week and then send that to Heather, and copy and paste your impressions and send it to Austin. And reach out to Austin if you have any questions. Rochelle says, sorry, that's kind of right here. Sorry, she was late. Oh, the cutoff is Monday at 2:00 to have everything done in it. So
yeah, that'll allow us to get that 2 to 5 time while we're still in the office to get everything. So at least it looks pretty when we want to present the next level of the bracket the day after on Tuesday. So that'll give us that time.
Thanks, Austin. And again, we just want to try to create excitement about getting leads going and getting everyone's business going since we're, rounding out first quarter here in March, and just keeping the momentum going until we're in the busy spring sunny season, which we're going to already start to get some sun later this week, which is exciting. Thank you, Austin and Tanya, for all your organization on that. All right, Morgan, tell us about what you got for marketing.
Hello, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, Austin. So I quickly wanted to touch up on the class I'm going to be teaching here towards the end of the month. I'm going to be covering social media etiquette and social media branding. So this will be an interactive class again. This one will not be recorded because it is interactive. We're going to go over a quick exercise on how to find what type of branding you like on your social media. So we're going to browse on Pinterest for a little bit, find some pictures that stand out. You can pull colors from those pictures if you're working on branding yourself with some colors for your marketing. So it's going to be a great exercise for everybody. And then, of course, everyone should know social media etiquette. For example, if you are reposting somebody's post, be sure to tag them on it. We'll go over how to do that. And it helps if that person sees your post, they don't say, well, that was my picture that I shared. So well, why didn't they give me credit for that? There's etiquette when you're showing houses and when you're negotiating deals, and then there's also some on social media. So we'll be going over that. And then I also wanted to touch on how my services make things easy for you guys. This is one thing I get asked all the time is, how can you make my life easier? The quick and easy answer is in many ways, but I wanted to go over that with you guys. So first things first is doing it yourself. Using command can be frustrating for many people. I describe it as a toolbox with a bunch of different tools. If you want to use all of them, great. If you just want to use the wrench and the hammer, that's totally fine as well. It's up to you which tools you get to use. Now, the hard part is some people struggle with technology. My sister is one of them, as crazy as that sounds. She totally is and needs help a lot with computer stuff. So what could take you 7 hours to do some marketing for your listing would take me less time. But in reality, that's 7 hours or less or more that you could have spent on the phone talking to people. You could have been out in your community networking with some people. So I'm going to break down some numbers about my hourly charge versus what your time is worth if you want to spend your time on these things. So here at KWPP, the average agent commission last year was $12,208, and average time spent per transaction is about 20 hours. With that math, your hourly rate as an agent is $610.40 an hour. I will let you know right now, I do not charge that much hourly for my services. So I went ahead and grabbed a couple things here. To run a social media ad in command for you is $25. I get the pictures, I write up the caption, we go over what kind of ad you want to run. I get your login and I take it from there. I've actually got quite a few people that I'm helping that are already on this call today. Postcard Design, this is an average amount is $45. A average cost for uploading your database to command. If you haven't made the switch over yet and got your people in there, you definitely should do it. That's around $40 of an average. And then average cost for social media posts for a whole month. This is me scheduling 5 to 6 posts a week for you. Everything from local content in your areas like restaurants, events, when the farmers market is starting, hiking trails, dog parks, you name it, just making you look like the local expert and really active on your social media. That averages out to about $225 a month, depending how many posts you have me schedule. There are a bunch more services I can offer, but these are some of my most used services, and my hourly rate is $40 an hour. So you not only save money with using me at a lower hourly rate than your hourly rate, but you avoid a lot of the headache too. I've been doing this for over 3 years now, and I love helping you guys. I wanted to give a quick shout out to Bradley. I think he's on the call here today. Bradley's used me for a couple different projects, and I just asked him to quickly chime in about how easy it is and things like that to use me. Is you believe someone once you've kind of heard someone that's gone through it and gives a recommendation. So I just wanted to give him a quick shout out.
Hello, everybody. So kind of just to butt in here a little bit and talk about a couple things. My experience with Morgan has been great. And I think that there's a lot of value in being able to use your time where it's the most efficient for your business. And I think that we all have our strengths and weaknesses. And for me personally, I'm not very good at the computer stuff either. And I've found that if I hire Morgan to do some of the stuff that I'm not very good at, I can use that time in more productive areas where I can do tasks that actually make me more money. And yeah, and overall, the process is super simple. You can just shoot her kind of a quick email, or a lot of times you can just stop by her office because she's usually pretty available and easy to talk to, and kind of can just figure out what would work best with your schedule and what you need help with. And it's just super easy, super simple. Her billing process is really easy too, and overall a great experience.
Thank you so much, Bradley, and thank you for letting me put you on the spot. I did give him a little bit of a heads up this morning, so if I ever give someone else a shout out, I will let you know ahead of time. So here's my contact information if you don't have it, and I would love to work with more of you guys. Does anyone have any questions?
Thanks, Morgan. And then the information and the link for your class will be on our calendar, correct, Dustin? Yep, so the link is on our KWPP agents page, right in the calendar. So thanks, Morgan.
Thank you.
All right, moving on. Kelly, our amazing broker. Kelly, teach us something today with your words of wisdom.
Sure thing. So one of the terms I'm seeing the most used, and this kind of piggybacks some of our discussions from last week's meeting, but one of the terms I'm seeing most used on our offers right now are appraisal insurances or appraisal guarantees or appraisal shortfalls. There's a million different ways, different names for them, and we're writing them a bunch of different ways, and some of them are contractually accurate and some of them are kind of a little bit more vague. So we thought, let's put together an addendum that is contractually accurate and also a little bit of a marketing piece, because sometimes you'll put a term in an offer and it will get lost in all the boilerplate terms that are already in the offer. So I think putting it on a separate addendum is something that makes a stronger impression. So we've prepared this. It's sent over to Zip Forms or Lone Wolf, whatever you want to call them, and they're in the process of formatting it and uploading it now. We'll have this on our agent website shortly. But let me share my screen with you and give you guys a little preview of what we drove up here. So I could probably accomplish all of this in just one sentence by saying, the property is contingent upon lender's appraisal not being less than whatever the gap amount is than the purchase price. We could totally do it that way. It'd be very simple. But like I said, the term would probably get lost in the contract. And I think this makes a much stronger impression. So what we have here is per section 5.1 of the sales agreement, that's where we deal with our financial contingencies. The sale is contingent upon lender's appraisal. In the event lender's appraisal is less than the purchase price, buyer shall pay additional funds up to, you're going to insert that there, towards buyer's down payment to close the sale. Buyer represents that buyer has sufficient funds to close the sale in accordance with this addendum. If the sum of lender's appraisal and buyer's additional funds is less than the purchase price, buyer shall deliver written notice to seller of this fact, in which case the terms set forth in sections 5.1 and 5.2 of the sale agreement shall remain in full force and effect. So now we have something that plays perfectly along with the purchase agreement. It addresses the contingency. It allows for the discrepancy in the appraised value, and also I think is marketed pretty well with your offer too. So that's my corner today. Pretty short, pretty easy, pretty brief. If you have questions about it, give me a call.
Thanks, Kelly. And you know, our goal with these types of things is just to make your lives easier. So if there's something as agents that you guys are running into, that you're writing over and over on, you know, contracts or addendums, let us know, and Kelly can put together some other things like this.
Yeah, we're really happy to do it. We want it to be, like I said, contractually accurate. And also there's a marketing piece to all this. You know, we don't like to overload agents with paperwork. And, you know, I'm seeing a lot of us write these terms, but when we can also use this addendum when we're representing a seller, because we want to make sure, like, just writing the appraisal, you know, buyer to bring $20,000 to closing for appraisal gap doesn't actually accomplish anything contractually. I mean, it says they're going to bring some money in, but it doesn't actually address a contingency in any kind of legal way. So, so we need to have something that's contractually obligated for when the occasion occurs. So anyways, thank you very much.
Wait,
Kelly,
start over.
hey, I would also like to add that, Kelly, I think your strategy of having this on a separate addendum to have it stand out, if you think about an owner potentially considering 2 to 20 offers, and this is the one of all the offers that has this condition and it's professionally written, I think is going to lend credibility to that offer. And I love that it's branded in a big red KW Portland Premier, because I do believe that's going to have the offer and the agent stand out. So I love that strategy. It's just another way to draw attention to your offer that's in a pile of offers in this market right now.
Yeah, like I said, I could do this in one sentence, but it would get lost in the offer. This is going to really help you market your offer a little bit better to the seller, because you're not going to be presenting it to the, you know, in the good old days, we'd be sitting at a table with a buyer presenting the offer. Those days are long gone. So you want to make sure that you're able to market it to the seller through their agent a little bit.
Thanks, Kelly. All right, so we have some great guests here today. The lovely Denise Wilson and Cindy Gray from Lawyers Title. Hi, ladies. Thank you for joining us. And Denise, they're going to talk a little bit about time management versus self-management. We're always wanting to think about our agents and you guys as people. And right now, you know, life can be a little bit crazy, even outside of real estate. So we want to just focus on overall wellness. So thanks for being here, ladies, and I'll let you take it away.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. Good morning. Cindy, did you want to say something really quick before I get started? Sorry about that.
No, that's okay. Good morning, everybody. So good to see your faces. And I'm excited for what Denise has to talk about, time management versus self-management. She's an excellent speaker, excellent leader. Lawyers Title appreciates all of you. Anything we can do to help support your success, we are there for you. And after this wonderful information that Denise shares, if you guys want to follow up with Denise or myself and dive in a little deeper, we're here for you. Let us know. So take it away,
Wonderful.
Denise.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Corinne and Austin and Dwight, everybody, for inviting us to be with you today. I'm going to go pretty quick here because I was told I had about 20 minutes. So you guys let me know if we're on track, okay?
Oh, and you're free, like we're a little ahead of schedule. So you're free to use 2030, like until 11. So you're
okay, good. Well, good, wonderful. Well, thanks, Austin. Thanks to you guys. I'm so happy to see your faces, and we love our relationship with you guys at Keller Williams. We couldn't be more proud of your work, your discipline, your passion, and care for what you do. We see you out there. We see how you treat your clients, and we're sure grateful to be a part of that. So thank you for having us today, you guys. So when I was doing some insane productivity with coaching with Darren Hardy, he is the author of The Compound Effect. There were some things that really captured and really helped me get excited about getting a little bit more discipline when it came to my business, being able to teach my agents, coaching up my team properly, as well as implementing these things myself. So we're going to have a little fun with some statistical information and some stories. And then I'm going to leave you guys with 5 points today that you're going to leave with, that you can take action with today. And I really hope you'll implement these things. And they're real simple, but they're not easy, right? Okay. So when Darren Hardy was a young boy, he was 8 years old and he's at his grandpa's house. And in the background, for people of my age and older, you might remember Robin Leach of the Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Who remembers that, right? That show, The Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. Robin Leach, you could just hear his accent now. I love his accent, right? And he's just 8 years old, and he said they didn't watch TV much at his home with his dad. He was raised by a single dad, and his grandpa had it on, and he could hear all of a sudden this gentleman that Robin Leach was interviewing. He said what caught his eyes and ears was there was 12 garage doors being opened with exotic cars behind. And he said if that didn't catch his attention. So he said, I started paying attention. What's this guy talking about? Because he said he wasn't anything particularly good looking. He wasn't particularly a great speaker. He wasn't particularly smarter than the average guy, but he wanted to know how he was going to get 12 cars that were exotic in his possession as an older person. He was very excited to do so. So he was listening because he was about to reveal the secret of success. Robin Leach says, what is your secret to success? And he said his secret to success was time management. Interesting, right? Well, let's keep going, right? And he thought to himself, if he could do it, I could do it, right? So Darren was a millionaire by the time he was 18 years old. He sold a $50 million real estate company at the age of 25. Then he started Success Magazine. Everyone knows Success Magazine. And his job as an owner of Success Magazine, he had the opportunity to interview these, billionaires, whether it was in an office complex, whether it was on their yachts, on the private jet. He would interview them and he would learn from them. And he said he found out the truth. He found out the truth about success. And it wasn't time management at all. He discovered that it was self-management. Working harder is not the answer. It's truly self-management, okay? Let's go ahead and dive into some of these things, right? When we think about, what is our superpower? Everybody has a superpower, right? I'll share mine with you. I believe my superpower is really truly loving to listening to people, hearing what their desires are and helping them achieve that, whether it's in business, encouraging them in life. I would say that was my superpower, really hearing and seeing people and helping them discover and achieve their goals, right? We all have a superpower, right? Well, what is your kryptonite? What is your kryptonite, right? Now listen, here's the question. Are you burning money? Are you burning money, right? Did you guys know that $10,000 per team per year, right? And that's $1 million that is wasted on this one kryptonite. Think about this. $1 million, and this is based on a 100-team company. A 100-team company. $1 billion was wasted on this one kryptonite, right? Because we all have a superpower, but what is our kryptonite? Our kryptonite, and this is statistical, you guys, it is distractions. Does anybody get distracted in their day-to-day? You're sitting down, right? I know what we call it here with my friends at Keller Williams. We call it our drunk monkey, right? And we know it. And friends, it is always going to happen right when you're about to do something that is not a little bit out of your comfort zones, right? We're going to talk about that, right? Let's talk about how we can help ourselves self-manage better, right? And this is some interesting numbers I want to share with you guys, right? Check this out. Distracted workers cost U.S. businesses $650 billion in 2010. That's 10 years ago. That distractions. Can you imagine today with technology and every app out there possible, right? That's why this is so crucial that we need to be aware. We need to be self-aware and we need to be self-managing ourselves, right? Today, it's $1 trillion that is being wasted per year in U.S. businesses. 1 trillion. And you know what it's due to? I know you guys can guess. It's due to social media and email. Would you agree with me? Give me that head shake. I know you're with me. I know you're with me. There's 3 types of brains, okay? There's 3 types, and I know you guys know the first one. It's our monkey brain, right? But it's only 5%, but our monkey brain, check this out. And we know we have a monkey brain, right? It's our emotional brain. It's active all day long. It falls in love. It falls in lust. It freaks out easily, right? It's consistently looking for something new and shiny. Can anyone relate to that, right? It seeks pleasure, fun, excitement, and it cannot resist the fear of missing out. Now, we have the number 2 brain, which is 95%. Okay, so this is the exciting people for people like me that love people. Oh man, I want to be there. I hear something, I'm like, oh, I'm sure I should be in that conversation. I'm just sure of it, right? So 95% is our robot brain, right? Okay, that's our heart function, our lung function, everything automatic in our body is our behavioral is taken care of by the robot brain. It has one desire. It's to retain caloric output. It is risk adverse. So things like this might come about when you're sitting down trying to get your things out. Ooh, am I hungry? Ooh, I better use the restroom, right? So what is so neat about our robot brain is if we can create winning habits, it becomes the robot brain. I'll give you an example. I know a gentleman, and he's probably in his mid-50s, and ever since I've known him, he's never missed a workout. That's crazy, right? And when I asked him, how did that come about? How do you do that every single day? And he goes, I just do it. It's just what I do. I just do it. So for him, it's something that he created a habit on, that it is now in his robot brain. He just does it, right? How do you make your 20 two-way conversations a day? You do them every day until they become a habit that it's just what you do. It's just what you do. I make 20 two-way conversations a day and I don't stop until they're done. How? I just do it because it's in your robot brain, but you've got to create that habit, right? Because if you guys remember, you know, the chains of habit are too heavy to be, or too light to be felt, and they're too heavy to be broken, right? We know that saying, and it's so true, right? The chains of habit, right? And so we can give the good ones to our robot brain. We can give the good habits, and it becomes in our robot brain, and it's habitual. We do it every single day. Now, our last brain is the third brain is the sage brain. The sage brain. This is our conscious brain, the one that wants more, the one that wants to get more done, the brain of why you're here and paying attention, because you want to know more, you want to be better, right? We need to tame the monkey to achieve the big goals you have for you, your life, and your family, right? And your future, of course, right? So let's talk about some distractions, okay? What are the top distractions that help that monkey, satisfy that monkey, and we've got to get rid of, right? Do you know what the number one is? This is really crazy, and you're gonna know, you're gonna go, oh yeah, and it could be you, right? What are they? The chatty colleagues. It's your chatty colleagues, right? We have to be careful with that because there is a balance, right? We all have who we are inside. We all have people, you know, where we need to be able to be in a place where we can talk to people, right? And that's good, but there has to be a balance, right? So for instance, any of you who know Michelle, and she would never care if I shared this with you, but when she first started with me, you know, if you know me, I'm high D and I'm high I, but I'm real high D, but really high I, right? So, but Michelle, I would see her and she would go from each person and have about a 15 to 20-minute conversation right down the row of my escrow officers, which they're distracting them. I'm losing my mind because I'm going to wring her neck. No joke, right? And yet I'm like, oh gosh, but she loves these people, and it's all about care and taking care of them. So there has to be a balance, right? Chatty colleagues, watch yourself, do it in a respectful way, but that's your number one, right? We also know the second most distraction in the workplace is our mobile phone. We know that it's our mobile phone. And number three, check this out, you guys. The view out the window, right? And I know Mark Fox, he would joke around because he did when I shared this with he and his team. He said, that's why we're in the back of the Fox den back there, right? There's no windows, right? And we joke around about that, and that's truly a joke, but it cracked me up when he said it. But the view out the window, did you know that this leads the average worker to waste 60 hours per month? Per month, friends. I mean, if this doesn't get you fired up to self-manage, right? Your distractions are your greatest threat to your productive future. Distractions, right? The thing is that we're addicted to distractions, right? We're addicted to, I'm just checking my time here. Let me just give you a couple of, just some quick statistical information that's going to show you how addicted to distractions we are. There was a report done on humans that 53% of us still check our email while we're driving. Naughty, bad, right? Workers, listen to this. Workers will check their email 40 times per hour. 40 times per hour, friends. Now listen, when I was a girl, oh my gosh, I grew up in Arizona, and we had this big driveway, and it was not cement driveway. It was a pebblestone driveway, like, you know, basically the desert floor. And I would run across it in my bare feet and go check the mail. I don't know why. I love checking the mail, right? But can you imagine? I would run down there. I would open up that big, I'd grab the mail and go in. But did you know on this study that was done, you're checking your emails 40 times a day, and sometimes when there's not even emails there. Can you imagine me going out to the mail in 1 hour and running across that driveway and checking that mailbox 40 times in an hour, right? Think about that, right? And you know, we're all guilty of it. We're all guilty of it, right? 67% of people check their phone and emails when no one was even there. Who knows the phantom beep? Anyone? Phantom beep, did you ever hear it? I have. And I'm not sharing anything with you guys that I haven't personally probably done myself. Undoubtedly, right? Of course, 75% of people admit to using their phone in the restroom, right? 30% of folks say they wouldn't even use the restroom without it. You know, and this is why, friends, you don't touch other people's phones. Don't do it, right? Don't do it, friends. I know it's true. 69% of people cannot go to bed without checking their phone in their inbox. And I encourage you guys, I want to tell you something. Let me tell you something that's a personal story that has helped me. In the middle of the night, if you use the restroom, I used to be obsessed with, I would, of course, oh, if I'm awake, I have to check my email. What am I going to find at 2:30 in the morning that I can take care of right then? Think about that, right? If I saw an email that got me so excited and I can't wait to talk to that person, or maybe it was something that, dear heavens, they needed help. Well, I'm not going to go to sleep either way, but there's nothing at 2:30 in the morning that I can do to help them. So I'm not going to go to sleep. So do that for yourself. Shut your phone off at night and don't go back to it if you wake up for a drink or a restroom. You're going to help yourself because you need sleep in order to stay on task during the day and to really watch your self-management, right? I mean, that's 43. So it's 69% can't go to sleep without checking, and 43% check in the middle of the night, right? I've got so many more stats on this, but just a couple more I'll share. 35% of people check their phones first thing in the morning. It's the first thing they touch, besides first thing they touch. That means not a hello to good morning to their partner, not a brushing their teeth, not getting coffee. None of those things are first. It's the phone first, right? 38% of people check their phone during dinner, right? Not only have we lost our minds, friends, we've lost our manners, right? 4,280 folks died while while texting and walking near traffic. 4,280, that's mind-boggling. 1,152 people were hospitalized for the same reason, okay? Does anybody recognize any of these patterns? Maybe in a friend? Maybe in yourself. I know, I'm right. I see Brian. Brian's like, hello, me, right? I know, I'm telling you guys, I know.
I'm sure a lot of us are guilty of a lot of these, so it's good to be aware.
It is, and you know what? I hope, you know what's gonna be funny, and I do hope you think of me, and I hope you have a giggle with me. But when you do this, you guys, you're going to think of me and you're going to giggle, or think it, you know, you really are. It's going to give you a good giggle, but it's also, that giggle is going to go, you know what? It's right. And we're going to go into you're going to have takeaways today, but it's really, I'm sharing this stuff with you. It's, even though it's funny and kind of fun, it's because it's real. And you're going to, when you laugh about it and noodle it, it will help you. Trust me, it helped me. Okay. Now listen, here's the important part of distractions, of why we have to self-manage. Because listen to this, you guys, right? Now, when you are in a project, right? Like when you are working on something, right? When you are doing your lead gen, right? You've got to understand, right? Yes, it might take 30 seconds to look at that text. It might take you 30 seconds to reply and say, yeah, Corinne, got it, thanks. You're awesome, right? Because you're so excited, she's so helpful, you want to tell her she rocks. You do, you can't wait. Why would you want to wait? It takes 30 seconds to do that, right? But did you guys know when you are in flow, it's 23 minutes and 15 seconds it takes to get back there. For that 30-second you rock text or thank you or whatnot that we just have to do. We just have to check it. We have to check it. It takes 23 minutes and 15 seconds to get back into flow. That's something to really remember, okay? Being in a state of concentration, when you're in it, man, when you come out of it, it's like, whoa, that rocked. That 30 minutes, that's 60 minutes, right? We're in sales, right? You can't pin us down for too long, but you know, that hour, if you stay in flow and you look back on that hour, how good is it, right? It's good, right? You know, here's the problem. We are afraid of being bored. We're afraid of being bored, right? And we must get comfortable with boredom, right? Right, I talked to my team about that, right? I hate to sound like this, and it's true, right? The money's in the mundane, friends, right? The money's in the mundane, right? 22-way conversations every day. Well, gosh, I do that every day. It's so boring. Well, guess what? Boring works. We're so afraid to be bored, but boring works, right? We are addicted to being busy. When I walk in the office and everyone's like, Denise, Denise, Denise. Yes, it feels good, right? Denise, pick me, Denise, Denise, Denise. Yeah, it feels good, right? Right? We love that feeling. It feels good to be busy, right? Everyone wants to feel important, right? When you are zooming around, if you really are honest with yourself, and I'm not talking about relationships because we do need to be there for people, right? But that's not during that's not during your flow time, because those are very important. Please understand, people are first in my world and they are the reason of our success. Relationships are so important, okay? But I'm talking about when we're supposed to be in flow and concentration. I want to be clear on that, right? Because your relationships and those conversations are so important. So please understand that I'm speaking of the differences, right? But our zooming around when we're supposed to be, right, it feels like we're busy, but we are accomplishing very, very little. Would you agree, right? It's called creative avoidance. Has anybody ever been experiencing creative avoidance? It can happen, right? It can. Let me see what time it is. We're good. Austin, we're good. So, okay, good. Now, these things, now remember, guys, I'm sharing things with you that you probably already know, but right, we need to be reminded, right? Busy equals out of control, right? Busy equals out of control. We don't lack time, right? We lack skills and priorities, right? We don't lack time, we lack skill and priority, right? Because movement is not progress, activity is not productivity, right? And rushing is not results, right? It's not. The number one killer of productivity is your multitasking, right? Because what are we doing, guys? We're doing a lot of things and nothing is really getting done well, right? We're doing a lot of things when we're multitasking, right? How many times have you guys been on a phone call and you're on a phone call and you start perusing your emails? Who's done that, right? Now you've half read your email, and now you're on a conversation, right? Rochelle, if I'm talking to Rochelle and we're engaged and she thinks I'm listening, and then I say, I'm sorry, what was that? Wait a minute, why didn't I hear what she said? Because I was reading something. That's so naughty, right? So you're not doing anyone justice now, right? So think about that, right? When we multitask, it is inevitable that each individual task is slower and of lower quality. You are not that way. You don't want to be of lower quality. I know who you guys are, and you guys are rock stars. You don't do mediocre work. You don't do lower quality work. I know that about you. And we do that to ourselves in those moments when we're not being disciplined, when we are not self-managing. Successful people are unbusy, okay? Unbusy, because they guard their time and they limit their distractions. One thing I've always taught my team, right, is it's one thing to do a quick pop by and drop something off, whatever. But a true meeting and conversation, right? You don't do that to people, right? You have a meeting, you have a set reason that you're going there to help them and they want you there, right? Because I want to tell you guys something. Let's choose, I'm gonna pick on Dwight for a second, right? When I meet with Dwight, he's not on his phone and he does not take phone calls. How many of we know that Dwight is very, very busy, right? I know Kelly and I have met to build out a farm one time. We were building out a farm, we were going over numbers. This man is busy. But when we had that meeting, he was unhurried and gave me his full attention. And when I meet with Dwight, same thing. And I can go on with many, right? Because they limit their distractions, right? And they guard their time. If you've got their time, you're going to get their time, right? So if you truly think about people who have nailed this, they are unhurried.
Denise, I love that, what you just said about being unbusy is being a success, because how many of us equate being busy to being, oh, I got a lot going on, I'm hardworking, I'm so busy.
My friend, yes. Oh boy, you and I could go on and on and on about that, but that is so cool. You hit it on the head, girlfriend. Oh, I love that. I love that. Let's try these 5 things next week in closing, my dear friends. And you can ask me any question that you want. I can, Cindy and I can also sit down with you and go over and help you implement some systems and streamline some processes for you. But I want to just go over 5 things you could do next week, right? And they're easy, but they are simple, I should say. They are simple things. You're going to be like, Denise, duh. Oh, you try them. And then you tell me that they're easy, okay? When you are on the phone, be on the phone. Be on the phone. When you are on the phone, be on the phone, my loves, okay? Remember what I said? Don't peek at that correspondence. Don't do it, right? I gotta ask Rochelle what she said, she's gonna be like, does Denise even care that I'm taking the time for this phone call right now? No, I'm not. Why would I do business with Denise? That's crazy, right? When in a meeting, friends, when in a meeting, be in a meeting. Leave your phone behind. Now, some of us have small children and you're the only guardian for that. I remember being there when Paul was a little bum, you know, he was my little angel straight from heaven. He still is, but he's big now. But he was at his, you know, first day of school, and I'm the only one, you know, the only parent in town, right? At the time, I was the only parent in town, and my whole family lives in Arizona, so it was me, right? And I would say to the person, I just want to let you know my phone, the only reason why it's here is because my son started his first day of preschool, or my son is at preschool, or my son is, right? And I'm the only one. I will only look to just peek to make sure it's not his school calling or his nanny, right? Whatever it was the case at the time, right? So I think it's important that you know that I understand everyone has different circumstances, right? The other thing too, I talked to my team about when you're in the office, right? Go and you've got kids, go up to our wonderful, incredible receptionist and say, you are my emergency contact for the next hour. I have told my teenage kids, if they need something, call Luke at the front desk, right? So there's things to noodle and think about to make this stuff happen, okay? Leave your phone behind. It makes it so much easier to avoid it, right? Because it's easier to, listen, we are humans, my friends. It is easier to avoid than to resist. How many people go, I'm not putting chocolate chip cookies in my cart because then they're at home and then I have to resist them, right? So it's easier just to avoid than to resist, right? That's number 2. And number 3, listen, when someone knocks and walks into your office, you need to hold off. When you're in flow, when you're in concentration, you guys know the sign from the one thing. If I am unable to tell you no, so this sign needs to do it for me. Print it and hang it. If you don't have one of those signs, I will print it and bring it to your offices, right? And if you don't have a private office and you have a beautiful cubicle in the center of the office, put it on the back of your chair, okay, friends? And if you don't, do you know what sign I'm talking about, the one thing sign? If I am unable to tell you no, so I need the sign to do it for me because I am that way. I'm like, I don't want to hurt anyone's feelings. Do you know I lived my life as a sales executive for probably 15 years before I took that sticky note down? And it said on there, it said, please come in anytime. But I would shut my door because I'm Italian, I'm so loud. So my door was shut, but I was like, oh, I wouldn't want anyone to think I wasn't available for them. Dear heavens, I wouldn't want to hurt their feelings. Well, geez, they know me. They know I'm not here to hurt them. I'm in here doing my business, right? So you might need that sign. If you do, call Cindy. I'll get some over to the office, okay? Number 4, when in flow, okay, now this is kind of a funny little, you'll remember this, flow, when in concentration, while walking to the restroom, I know where your restroom is at your office. There's lots of fun people to see along the way. I know. I love your office and I love your people. I want to hug you all right now. So do not talk to anybody on the way to the restroom, right? You are in flow. Head down, use the restroom, get back, right? And if anyone says, gosh, Corinne was being rude, say, talk to Denise. She'll let you know, right? You know, no one's rude at your office. Hey, let's just get this done, right? When you're using the restroom, right? And what I want to say on that, right, is remember, before you get started on anything you're going to get in flow and concentration on, your calls, right? A project, a marketing piece that maybe you just want to noodle and get your bullet points down before you get it off to us that we can create for you, right? Whatever that might look like. That flow, make sure you have your water in front of you. Make sure you have your almonds there because guess what? Guess who's coming after you, right? We got to survive, right? So we got to, we're going to be hungry immediately and we're going to be thirsty immediately. So get your bunker ready, right? You guys know that. Get your bunker ready to go. So this way, when you're sitting there and your brain goes, I'm thirsty, you're like, yep, I got my water right here, right? It's all ready. Take your sip, right? Okay. And number 5, do not check your phone while in the presence of another person, right? Just try it for a week. When you are with somebody else, don't check your phone. Be in that conversation, right? You're probably having a conversation. You know, if you're having a conversation with Sylvia and Robin, you know, if they just even stop to have pleasantries, and all of a sudden Robin says something or vice versa, Sylvia, and they could learn something from each other in those quick moments, rather than someone doing this real quick. Oh yeah. Well, now you lose the opportunity of that human connection and from learning from each other. You know, I think it's important that we know that we're humans, we're here to advance each other, and we're here to take care of each other. And also we need to take care of our business in order to protect our future, our family, our finances, and to be able to help others. I could go on and on and on. That's it for today, my friends. I hope you found value. I hope you utilize these 5 things that will help you. And we're here to support you at Lawyers Title with your business, with streamlining processes and making it easy for you.
Thank you so much, Denise. That last one sounds a little bit challenging, but let's do it, right? And I think it is important to remember that, yeah, like the personal connections matter, and that other people you're talking with do notice when you're on your phone all the time. So thank you so much. And then Austin, I'm going to switch you to be the emergency contact for all of my children's activities in school.
Exactly. It's just for the hour, right? It's just, if your kids are old enough, right? Like Paul's 16. If it's me, I can say, call Luke. If it's an emergency, call Luke, and Luke will come get me out, right? So it's not about our, 3 or 4-year-olds in daycare, right? So it's just some food for thought for your business and to take care of yourself. Absolutely.
We appreciate it, Denise. Thank you so much for jumping on. You answered.
You're welcome. You guys have an awesome day, okay? And you guys take care, and we're here for you at Lawyers Title. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.
Take care.